I first learned about Hildegard of Bingen when I was a college student in the 1970s, but I didn't meet her in a class. Instead, I became acquainted with Hildegard as part of Judy Chicago's 1979 art installation, The Dinner Party, at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. This ambitious, groundbreaking work included exquisite table settings for 39 women in history. Chicago and her team created an elaborate triangular table. Each of the three wings of the table featured uniquely designed place settings for 13 women. The first was the primordial goddess. The last was Georgia O'Keeffe. Hildegard's place setting is based on the structure of a Gothic cathedral, and her plate is painted as a rose window, the central stained glass window in any cathedral, often considered the spiritual center of the church. I will forever associate Hildegard primarily with the beauty of women's creativity and spirituality. Hildegard has captured the imagination of so many scholars, painters, poets, playwrights, novelists, filmmakers, and musicians. This morning, we've heard a sampling of her glorious sacred music. As a writer, public speaker, and poet, Hildegard transcended bans and barriers to women expressing ideas publicly. And as we've heard, she was particularly prolific in the second half of her long life. At 42, she began work on a book of theology, Scivias, which prompted close scrutiny by the Pope. Hildegard frequently compared herself to a feather, which floats on the air not because of any power of its own, but because it's upheld by a power outside itself. This assertion she made of receiving a divine command to write convinced the Pope to approve and sanction her work, solidifying her place as a seer and a prophet within the Catholic Church. In addition to hundreds of letters and sacred texts with music, Hildegard eventually wrote 3 books on theology, 2 books on medicine and herbology, and in the 1160s, she traveled throughout Germany, preaching both in monasteries and in public settings to denounce clerical corruption and call for widespread reform. Dare we call her an activist? When Dolores invited me to participate in today's service, I turned to Jane Hirschfield's beautiful 1994 anthology, Women in Praise of the Sacred, 43 Centuries of Spiritual Poetry by Women. And I was reminded immediately of the legacy and connection that Hildegard has on contemplative poetry, even in our time. Like Hildegard, we poets in the 21st century aim to deepen our wisdom, revere nature, and do all we can to nourish humanity and peace in a complex world. It's something that is everywhere in Hildegard's work. I'd like to end with her poem, O Ignis Spiritus Paracliti, which speaks across the centuries of the spirit or the life force within us all. O fire of the Spirit and defender, the life of every life created, holy are you, giving life to every form. Holy are you, anointing the critically broken. Holy are you, cleansing the festering wounds. O breath of holiness, O fire of love, O taste so sweet within the breast that floods the heart with virtue's fragrant good. O clearest fountain in which is seen the mirrored work of God. to gather the estranged and seek again the lost. O mighty course that runs within and through the all, up in the heights, upon the earth, and in the every depth, you bind and gather all together. From you the clouds flow forth, the wind takes flight, the stones their moisture hold, the waters rivers spring, and earth viridity exudes. You are the teacher of the truly learned, whose joy you grant through wisdom's inspiration. And so may you be praised, who are the sound of praise, the joy of life, the hope and potent honor, and the giver of the gifts of light.